So I am Dr.S.ARUNKUMAR, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, SNS College of Technology. So in this lecture series, we are going to discuss about the lubrication system of our IC engines. First, let us know what is lubrication process. So it is the process of applying the lubricant to the moving parts of contact of moving parts. So in an IC engine, the moving parts rub each other and it creates the friction as well as wear and tear. So due to the friction, wear and tear, it almost lost the power or performance of the engines. So the lubrication system is very much essential for an IC engine. So let us discuss in detail about the purposes of lubrication system. So there are major purposes. The lubrication is used in the IC engines to avoid the damage of moving parts as well as to reduce the friction between the moving parts, and the lubrication is used to minimize the wear and tear. Also, the lubrication is used to avoid the engine noise and to avoid the vibrations. So these are the major purpose of lubrication system used in the IC engines. So let us discuss what are the components or essential requirement of the lubrication system. So the engine major components are piston rings and main bearings, connecting rod. So in connecting rod, small end as well as bigger end of the connecting rod across the lubrication system, crankshaft, camshaft, and valves. So these are the major components that is requires the frequent lubrication for smooth running of water engines. So this lubrication system is basically divided into two types. The first one is petrol engine or mist engine. The second one is wet sump lubrication system. Then let us discuss the petrol or mist lubrication. So in the petrol or mist lubrication, this type of lubrication system is commonly used in the two-stroke engines. So light duty vehicles mainly two-stroke engines. So in the petrol or mist lubrication system, the lubricating oil is mixed with the fuel in the fuel tank. So the oil and fuel mixture is injected by the carburetors. So by injecting process, the petrol gets evaporated and the oil is lubricating all the parts of the engine parts. So for better performance of the engine, the oil and fuel ratio is very much essential. The fuel plus oil ratio for better performance is 50:1. So let us discuss some of the advantages and disadvantages of this petrol or mist lubrications. Let us discuss some advantages as well as disadvantages of the petrol and mist lubrication system. So in this system, there is no separate lubrication tank or sump is not required. So due to avoiding of the separate system, the weight of the engine is very less and also does not require any weight listeners. It has some disadvantages like it does not suitable for the heavy duty vehicles, and if the oil level is very less, it creates the seesaw wheel. If oil level is very excess, it produces the excessive smoke in the exhaust. So this is about the mist or petrol lubrication system. Let us discuss the another type of lubrication system such as wet sump lubrication system. So in the wet sump lubrication system, the big sump is attached in the base of the crankshaft in the IC engines. So from this, the oil is extracted and then is supplied to all the moving parts of other engines. So the vessel lubrication further classified into three types. One is splash lubrication system and pressure lubrication system and semi-pressure lubrication system. The semi-pressure lubrication is nothing but it is the combination of splash and pressure system. Now we are going to discuss the one of the vessel gadgets such as splash lubrication system. So let us consider this small arrangement of splash lubrication system. Let us consider this is the connecting rod of IC engine. Figure head of the connecting rod. Lubricating oil. So this is the grand case. The main part of this splash system is screw. So let us discuss the working principle of the splash lubrication system. So that in the tank case, bottom of the IC engine, in the tank case, the lubricating oil is poured in piston. Whenever the piston moves from the TBC to BDC, by connecting rod, it and the scoop it dip into the lubricating oil and it splashed the other lubricating oil into the moving parts of the IC engine. After that, the oil settled in the engine parts again falls into the sunk of the splash lubrication system. So this day is repeated so that the moving parts as well as the major components of the IC engine is lubricated and you reduce the friction as well as the wear. So this vessel lubrication system also has some advantages as well as disadvantages. Advantages are the minute parts of the moving parts also can be lubricated as well as all the major components of the IC engines can be lubricated. Disadvantages of this vessel lubrication is the maintenance cost of the system is very high as well as the weight of the engine is high due to the separate lubrication system. So thank you for your attention.